Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a pleasant afternoon. I'm doing this Testigo Venezuela update because I am banned from Facebook. I was planning to do one later with Carlos. I think we briefly mentioned it last week, but I'm banned from Facebook. I don't know if he'll be able to see this in time. I don't know if he'll be able to read my message to him on other media in time. So that it might happen a different day. Not that it matters because we didn't put it up anyway, the chat. However, I was banned for something totally unrelated to anything that I do on this channel. It was pretty much me insulting another user. So, that's not related to anything that's going on YouTube, not related to anything that I'm doing on any of the other social media creative networks that I'm on, Minds or Gab, or what's the other one that I use, BitChute. And hopefully I'll be able to make this long enough to be on BitChute. But this is about Venezuela, and I'd like to introduce a few topics that illustrate why I think it is, it's a topic that should be at the top of the priority list for a lot of people who don't care yet. They don't care yet because it doesn't affect them yet. And in my opinion, at some point, we are going to see more and more effect of Venezuela's disastrous policies on administering their economy and their society come to these shores and also affect other Latin American countries. Let's not forget that. There's a lot of people who say to me in my day-to-day conversations about it, not that I talk about it every day, but they say, well, why does Venezuela matter? Venezuela isn't an issue over here. Some of these people care about other countries overseas, but they don't care about Venezuela. Well, I'll tell you, for one thing, this is the largest oil producer in the world, and it also has one of the worst refugee situations in the world, which is what I'll lead with at the moment. This is from Bram Ibis, who is from Holland. Okay, he's publishing in Irene, the inside story on emergencies. They talk a lot about refugee issues. Okay, and for those of you that don't think that this is a big issue, here it is. So, 500,000 and counting Venezuelan exodus puts new strains on Colombian border town. The sun is burning at the Colombian border town of Cucuta. Red Cross workers attend to people with dehydration and fatigue as hundreds of Venezuelans line up to have their passports stamped, covering their heads with clothing and cardboard to fashion what shade they can. These are just the latest arrivals. By January, at least 550,000 Venezuelans were officially residing in Colombia, with nearly half arriving last year alone, according to Colombian officials. Most are fleeing their country's economic meltdown, one of the world's largest migrations unassociated with conflict. The pace picked up in the last 6 months of 2017 with a 62% increase in the number of Venezuelans living in Colombia in the second half of that year compared to the first, and they keep coming. Cucuta's city center is full of migrants sleeping on the streets. Most of them have no money. Beggars are everywhere. Underage girls prostitute themselves alongside the roads. Armed gangs, ELN guerrillas, that's the Ejército de Liberación Nacional, that's a Colombian guerrilla group, and paramilitaries are said to be widely recruiting desperate Venezuelan youngsters. Colombia isn't used to this. For more than half a century, the human tide went the other way. More than 5 million Colombians migrated to Venezuela to escape conflict among government forces, paramilitaries, crime syndicates, and guerrilla groups. Now the tide has turned. Second. So, Joseph Merckx, country representative for the UNHCR, the High Commission on Refugees, worries that Colombia's hospitality is already at a breaking point. He doesn't know what will happen if similar numbers of Venezuelans arrive over the next 6 months, a distinct possibility, especially as tensions may rise around Venezuela's May 20th presidential elections. So, they have, let me see here. The money women earn for their hair might be just enough for a bus ticket to a. So they're selling their hair. Okay, do you understand how weird this is? They're selling their hair. Um, it might be enough for a bus ticket to a nearby destination. Bringing money from Venezuela is nearly useless as the currency, the bolivar, has plummeted. The 2017 inflation rate in Venezuela is estimated to be more than 2,600% and is expected to rise above 8,000% this year. So it's getting worse. It's going to get just worse the longer this regime, the Maduro regime, remains in power. The Maduro Chavez regime. And you just have these people that they're suffering and they're crossing the border, but it's not an international issue. Most people don't really give a fuck. And, frankly, I don't think anybody here gives a shit. This country is basically melting down into nothing. And Americans and people around the world are waiting for those refugees to come to these shores so people can get mad then. That's the problem with Venezuela. These people are starving. Their money is worthless. They have nothing where they come from. It's all because of the policies of the Maduro government. And people, some people object when I say which policies they might be, but it is indeed policies that are related to socialism. So that's just one story. That's the refugee issue. Other issues that are going on over there. You have, this is from Bitcoinist.com. Venezuela sold $5 billion in petro cryptocurrency, claims the president. Well, what do you think they're going to do with that cryptocurrency? If it's a country that they've already had billions siphoned off by government officials, corrupt government officials that have used it to squirrel away riches in Swiss accounts and other foreign tax shelters. Well, let's read through this a bit. Petro is the first cryptocurrency which is purportedly backed by natural resources. According to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, the sale of his cryptocurrency has raked in over $5 billion during its pre-sale period. The cryptocurrency has also reportedly received 186,000 certified purchases. If true, Petro could potentially be viewed as a successful circumvention of aggressive international sanctions. Of course, Petro's facts and figures aren't particularly convincing, given that the announcement was made by Maduro to members of the United Socialist Party of Venezuela. So hold on a second. Let's see exactly how credible this is. During which time, the controversial figure also claimed that all revenue from the sale of the cryptocurrency would go to the service of everything our country needs. Maduro also stated that the revenue generated by Petro is part of a broader solution to the country's extreme economic woes. As reported by Telesur, the data, which supposedly proves Petro's success, comes directly from Carlos Vargas, Venezuela's superintendent of cryptocurrency and related activities. Vargas' data concludes that 83,000 individuals in 127 countries have bought into Venezuela's cryptocurrency, which is odd given that Petro can reportedly only be used for the payment of Venezuelan taxes. So, there's 83,000 suckers in the world. I guess that's how I would put it. Petro was made available for purchase during its pre-sale on February 20th. It is primarily being used to circumvent economic sanctions spearheaded by the United States. Those looking to invest in Petro from the United States might find themselves in legal trouble. The U.S. Treasury Department has claimed that the Venezuelan cryptocurrency is essentially an extension of credit to the Venezuelan government, which is strictly forbidden under U.S. sanctions. So this could be, for some investors around the world, not Americans, really a problem. Sweet Speak says socialism did this. Well, I would say it did it. Some people would say it didn't, but I do. The problem with the socialist government of Venezuela is they put people in the positions that are strategic to the economy and then believe that they would stay true to their socialist values, and that's not what happened. That's what I see here in the next story, which is that oil trading giants Glencore, Vital are targeted in a PDVSA bribe suit. So let's take a quick look at that as well. And with that, I think we will close. Oil trading giants, including Glencore Limited and Vital SA, paid millions of dollars to a former PDVSA trader to get the inside track on Venezuelan oil deals, according to a lawsuit filed by a trust for Petroleras de Venezuela SA. That's PDVSA. That's the Venezuelan oil conglomerate. PDVSA alleges firms including Lukoil, Pan Americas LLC, Vital, Glencore, and Trafigura AG of funneling bribes through several shell companies that were set up by a pair of Venezuelan nationals, including Francisco Murillo. Among their officials accused of coordinating the scheme from within PDVSA is company vice president Ismael Serrano, a close friend of Venezuelan Vice President Tarek al-Aissami, dating back to their college days. This involved a decades-long conspiracy to corrupt employees, fix bids, and bribe officials. David Boyes, the lawyer for the Petroleros de Venezuela SA Trust, said in a phone Thursday. So then it goes through. It says here that the conspiracy cost PDVSA $5.2 billion in lost revenue, according to Boyes. This plot was uncovered by lawyers and a former Scotland Yard detective they hired to investigate, according to the complaint. Some of the information came from a laptop computer hard drive provided by Murillo's estranged wife, Vanessa Friedman, according to the complaint. Murillo declined to comment by phone. Serrano, who isn't named as a defendant, was at work as normal as at PDVSA Friday, according to company spokesman who declined to comment on the lawsuit. Representatives of Lukoil and Glencore didn't immediately respond to requests for comment on the complaint. Trafigura spokeswoman Victoria Dix and Vital spokeswoman Andrea Schleffer declined to comment on the lawsuit. This isn't Boyes's first foray into Venezuela. His firm Boyes, Schiller, and Flexner LLP is also defending the nephews of Venezuelan First Lady Celia Flores in a federal drug trafficking case. That defense was funded by Wilmer Ruperti, a Venezuelan shipping magnate who made his fortune under former President Hugo Chavez. Ruperti had worked with Murillo until a feud split the oil traders. Boyes's law firm has also been collaborating with partners in Caracas to secure the release of Joshua Holt, a Utah man jailed for nearly 2 years on weapons charges. A Miami judge assigned to the case on March 5th rejected PDVSA's trust's request for a court order temporarily freezing the assets and confiscating the records of some of the defendants named in the complaint, but the judge did direct the defendants not to destroy any evidence. So this is a suit in American court. So Venezuela, they're trying to circumvent our financial system, but they still need to get their their justice through our legal system in order to come back against these companies, where they Vital and Glencore. So you're seeing basically, in my opinion, a country that is run by the new oligarchs. They're the oligarchs created by the Bolivarian socialist revolution of Venezuela. And those of you that don't think that this stuff can't happen in the United States, what do you think Uranium One is? What do you think that all of these scandals with Al Gore and the cap and trade and things like that? It's the same idea. Same idea. They might not be officially socialists, but this isn't the idea of thievery. Isn't a socialist concept. Socialism is a mask for these people. They really are just as greedy as any of us. So that's about it. If you want to comment, share. I am off of Facebook for the next 24 hours. So everything through YouTube or through some of my other pages. Subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think. And hopefully we will get an episode with Carlos or one of the other guests. What's his name? Gabe, for example, I've been trying to get on in the future. Have a great night.